Okay guys, so this is my sister. Hey friends, welcome back to another video. A lot of you guys actually really like that mental health video and I'm really excited about that. Please let me know any other topics that you would want to hear from me. I still have the list from the introduction video, but as I speak, I'm pretty sure you guys get ideas like you want to hear about something else, so please let me know what you want to hear, okay? This video is going to be very personal, actually. Like I said on this channel, we are going to be talking about things that nobody wants to talk about, and today's topic is sisterhood. That may not seem deep and it may not even seem taboo, but I'm going to be talking actually with my sister Rubina Mbadwe, Mrs. Rubina Mbadwe. She is my big sister, and a lot of times with sisterhood, you would think that, you know, the best friends, the inseparable ones, the ones that are hand in hand, she does her makeup and then she asks for her boyfriend advice and all the other things. Well, surprise, that was not my sister and I at all. That was not our relationship. So you're gonna hear a little bit of what our relationship was like growing up and where we are now. But for starters, here's the question.
I think about friendship, confidant, close associate, someone that...
Close associate?
No.
Aren't associates far away?
You know, friends, the close friend, someone that you could share your heart with, someone that, you know, you help out and they help you and they're there. It doesn't have to be from the same mother or the same father. It could be, it doesn't have to be.
Okay, but in general, sister though.
Sister. Okay. Not
your cousins off your second.
All right, sister
friends.
from the same mother, the same father, and you guys click
automatically.
Like you don't have to think. You know what the other person is thinking.
So for me, when I hear the word sister, I'll do two things. I'll do what I heard, and then what I think. Or what I thought. So I heard we're supposed to be best friends, right? Like the holding hands, like always twinning. And if you have an older sister, it's like you love just like they're your person that you go to. You don't go to your parents, you go to your sister because your sister's gonna understand. Yeah, all that stuff. And then, yeah, that's kind of what I heard. And then what I thought was just like, I don't know, growing up, I think I hope I'm not blowing us out of proportion, but I think I was very individualistic. I did my
individualistic.
You gotta speak up. They can't hear you. What would you
Too individualistic.
I didn't say that. But yeah, but I was very. I had my own mind, and because of that, I just felt like a sister was just like a sister, like just somebody that's there. Like yeah, we have the same mother and the same father,
and that's it.
But that's okay. I didn't say all of that. Clearly you can see that we're going somewhere with this. So what was the reality of our situation from your perspective?
We are oil and water. Marilyn goes west, I go east. But yeah, like I think is the age gap, it's a factor. But there were times where I wanted to like hang out and do stuff and just like, this is like not for you. Like this is people younger than you.
I said that?
Yes, there was one time, I think it was Instagram or Twitter or something. I'm like, oh no, this is for young kids. Why are you doing Twitter? I said, what? How old am I? Am I 90 years old?
Damn, I'm bad.
So yeah, we've had those instances back and forth so many times throughout the years. Yes.
Okay, so backstory. My sister and I are 15 years apart. You probably
Who wants
can't
to know
tell.
that?
Okay, you probably can't tell. Relax, sis. But yeah, we're 15 years apart. So that was a huge age gap. And to the point that like when I was younger, to annoy her, I'd be like, yeah, that's my mom. Like she'd be so mad.
Every time I went to her school, either to pick her up or attend I don't know.
Conference or something.
Not even that. I didn't go to that
Oh,
one.
you never went to that.
I went to like her recitals, and she would introduce me as her mother. Can you believe that, people?
Listen, I'm still a little sister,
and I look
okay?
very young. Somebody's like they tried to put.
They used to think
together.
that she was a teenage mom because that's when like teenage pregnancy was like.
I was
horrible person.
Hard.
Okay, but no. So I think because of that, to me, I was like, okay, if she's gonna live her life, I gotta live my life. So in my head, very early, I knew that we were two completely different people, and like in every single way. Like she said, oil and water. Like I'm not as emotional as she is. Extremely emotional. Like extremely emotional. Okay. Yes. Pray for all of us. And she's a caretaker. And one thing I will say, my sister's a really good caretaker. And I've always known that. And and that's kind of why I think I did call you mom, because you just always was trying to be somebody's mom. So I say all that to say that that for us, our sisterhood was completely different. I'm gonna snitch on myself a little bit. Growing up, she would call me. I remember in high school, like she would call me. I would not pick up the phone. I would only call if I wanted to go to her house, because she lived in Brooklyn, and I went to high school in the city, and a lot of my friends lived in Brooklyn. So I'm like, oh yeah, I just hop on the train with my friends, and then I'd be like, oh Nani, are you home? I call her Nani. So I was like, Nani, are you home? And she'd be like, yeah, you wanna come over? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, can I come over? She's like, yeah. She's mad excited, right? Because she wants to hang out with me.
But she had different intent. Like I didn't know this. I was so excited, but not knowing she had different plans.
So I would go like hang out with my friends or whatever, and then I'd get to her house like
2 a.m. in the morning.
You're dragging.
1 a.m.
I would never do that.
Late, close to bedtime.
Her bedtime is 8 o'clock. So I would get to her house at like 8, and she'd be like, hey, why you come home so late? I'm like, Nani, I was hanging with my friends, bruh.
I was so naive.
But at the end of this is like the kicker. It's how I was like, yo, she's just a genuinely good person, and really like my sister. Because the next morning I'd have to go to school, and she would make me tea. She'd make me breakfast. I was like on a train, like one of those like cool people going to work. Like, people thought I was going to Wall Street, and I was literally going to high school. Like that's the type of person that my sister was. But we are two completely different person. Yes. And you mentioned our age gap earlier. So do you think that if we were closer in age, that our relationship would have been different?
I think so because when she was in elementary school, mm-hmm. I was in college, right? Like beginning of college. So college life, you want to hang out, you want to go out with your friends and boyfriend, all these things. You cannot
you didn't want to hang out.
No,
you didn't want to hang out.
You can't discuss that with her. But I wanted to go out, go shopping, go to the movies, and the things that I wanted to do, she never wanted to do. Right?
Yes, I was not.
Most of the time, the movies I want to watch, she doesn't want to watch that. But she would rather go and hang out with my brothers.
Because I grew up with my brothers. My brothers picked me up. She was in school.
Always in boarding school.
You weren't in boarding school.
I mean back home.
Yeah, but I wasn't born when you were in boarding school.
Yeah.
But I did try, and she's watch her face, y'all.
Okay.
When my sister was getting married.
Oh, really?
When my sister was getting married,
I wasn't expecting this one, but go ahead.
I tried to be a sister. Because look, at the end of the day, okay, it doesn't matter if oil, water, blah, blah, blah. That's still your family, that's still your blood. And of course, I love my sister. So.
And I love my sister, okay? Don't get me wrong.
Don't get it twisted.
I'll come for you, yes.
So, I really tried. I think I was in high school when you were getting married.
Yes.
I was in high school when she was getting married. I think I was a sophomore, either sophomore or junior. I was junior. And at the time, I tried my hardest. When I tell you, I planned everything.
I didn't know this till after the fact.
No, don't worry, but let me tell my story. Okay. Let me tell my story, okay? I planned everything. A junior in high school. She had 5 bridesmaids.
And you're one of them.
I was one of the bridesmaids, and I'm gonna tell you what I gotta say at the end. Anyway, so I tried. I planned everything. I put my own money in. They didn't know where I was getting money from, but you know, from New York, you gotta hustle to get out here. I wasn't doing anything bad, relax. But I made money. Anyway, so I was paying for stuff. I was planning things. I organized things like, okay, who's gonna do this? I was working with my mom, figuring out food stuff, all these other things. And my sister names someone else her maid of honor. And I think that was the first time, honestly, that I was hurt. So, yes, in her defense, she didn't know that I was doing all this. But in my head, I was like, I'm your sister.
But this comes back to the age gap. So I'm thinking, because she's in high school and she's not working and she doesn't have the means to do the things that Bryce maid of honor does, I didn't think that she would be able to, hold that position. So I said,
she had no respect for my name.
No, I had respect for her. But I viewed her as my younger sister who doesn't have the means to do these things. So I just went to my friend who I thought did all the stuff that she did, all that we did, right? Just to come and found out that most of the stuff were from her, which I thank very much, but it was after the fact. I felt bad.
And then, I felt bad, but here's the part that got me.
The part that broke my heart was the day after the wedding. I saw her sitting on the curb. She was just lifeless. And what do you want? I don't know. Anybody said, I don't know.
Cause I was tight.
She was just angry. And I'm like, what? Like, what's wrong? And on the way back, like we stayed in the hotel after the wedding.
Oh yeah, the day.
The day after the whole bridal party. But then when I saw her behavior and all that stuff, I cried on my way all the way home because I'm like, what happened to my sister? And then thinking about the fact that I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be there to find out exactly what. That was hard. That was hard for me.
So the part that hurt me was the night before her wedding. She took all the bridesmaids except me to go hang out in the hotel.
Yeah.
And I was hurt.
But why didn't you come? What was the
Y'all made up some weird excuse. Her and my mom made up this weird excuse. They were like, oh, you're too young to go. And I was like, what? What are y'all gonna do?
We didn't even do anything.
They didn't even do anything. Like, first of all, if anybody that knows my sister knows that my sister is not about that life. It's not like they was gonna get strippers and like that's not how she's not like that. So I was like, what are y'all about to do?
I don't even know the reason why.
And then at the end they was like, oh, but you have to go get your hair done with mommy. So you have to go and come back. And I was like, bruh, it's my sister. Like this is my only sister.
Right. Wow.
So
I'm gonna make it up when she gets married. I promise people.
Hey, we don't even know if I'm called to marriage. Nah, okay. So that part for me, it hurt me because I was like, yo, like I'm out here trying because I know for me, my love language is doing things for people. So I am very, which they didn't know obviously clearly at that time, that I'm very organized and I'm a planner and I like doing things. I like doing things well. And yeah, they didn't know. Even to the shirts. Remember I got shirts made and everything? Yeah. Even to the shirts, y'all. But anyway, so that's one thing. So I don't think it was our age gap. I think our age gap played a part because we're in different. But it's not the D factor. I think that one thing that I've learned now is that I had to learn you. I had to learn you.
Vice versa.
I didn't understand you. Like you can tell my sister the sky is blue, and she'll be like, yeah, but there's clouds in the sky.
I had to question I questioned everything.
Like I was like, no, but I just told you the sky is blue. What does the clouds have to do with the sky? Like that's how I was like, how is sis not computing these things? And I had to learn my sister. I had to learn that yes, she's emotional, but that's like a strength, right? So she feels, she's more sensitive. And I had to learn that the way she needs to have words of affirmation, she needs to have connection, she needs to spend time in order for her to like feel connected to you. And for me, I could go a couple weeks.
couple of months. Without picking up your phone call? Yeah.
Nani, you be seeing me though.
No. I see her shadow. I'm telling you guys. I see her shadow sometimes. But she lives in my parents. I'll come and see my parents. I will talk to my brother. We'll hang out. On my way out, Mommy, I'm leaving. All right. She's in the room with the door locked.
My door doesn't even have a lock.
Anyway, but she doesn't come out.
Yes,
That's
because
how she is.
if you go back to the mental health video, which I will put in somewhere on the top somewhere, click there and you'll see why that I just need time of solitude to recharge, because my life is very busy and stuff. So that brings us to, how do you feel about our relationship now?
No, before we go on, I would like to say everybody should watch that video. Everyone should watch it. There's something in there for everyone.
But yeah, so with all that being said, we talked about our past. How do you feel about our relationship now?
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Praise break. That's how my sister feels right now.
Right now, oh God. You know God? He restores, He redeems the time. Yeah. So all the times that we never had together growing up, or even with my wedding, which is tragic, but
which is tragic.
But now we get to talk about life issues. Like, we get to do life together, spiritually, physically, and as a family, and as a sister. Like, even though we have the age gap, it's not even a factor. It's not like, it doesn't even seem like it exists.
And we're still different people.
Right.
I wanna make sure you guys know that. Like,
but
I haven't become softer and she hasn't become harder.
Right. I'm still who I am, but now we click more. And I think it's because it's God. It's God. It's nothing else. It's nothing else. Because if I compare my walk with Christ before where we are now, I could say I wasn't really close with Christ. I thought I knew him. I went to church. I didn't know him. But the more you walk with him and the more you know his heart, then you get to see people differently. Yeah. You're not judgmental. You're not condemning. You just love them for who they are and where they are. I think that's what is helping our relationship now. Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned your relationship with Christ. So she doesn't know this, and she doesn't know I'm about to say this. So it's gonna be really cool. So my sister, to me, growing up, was like a spiritual superstar. And I'm gonna tell you why. Wow. My sister, and she's not nobody in the Bible. You can't find her in the Bible. Although her name is from the Bible, Ruben. My mom just made it Rubina. But my sister was the first person in our family to have like a spiritual awakening that like rocked our family. And I mean, like, literally woke us up in the middle of the night. She had an encounter with God and literally woke the whole house up, and all of us had an encounter with God. I'm talking about at the same time. Like, if you are a believer, if you read Acts, when it says that the fire of tongues of fire fell on all that were there, like, that's what our house felt like. Like, it was shaking. I was crying. My brother was prophesying. My sister was slaying. Like, it was just like a circle, and we literally were standing in a circle. I can remember it so vividly now. But my sister has been that for me, and that moment marked my life. I want to say a year later, that's when I was baptized with the Holy Spirit and started speaking in tongues at 16 years old. And even though after that I was still, trying to figure this thing out, didn't know what it meant, and I always say I got saved at 18 years old, I do mark and remember that night that my sister had that encounter with Christ as the beginning of my spiritual journey. Because at that moment, I knew, oh, this God dude is real. like I know people be like in church and like praising and and I was I'm a church kid through and through. You put some gospel music on, and I know all the lyrics. I know all of it. I know all of it to my core, but I didn't really believe it. Like she said, like, we went to church. And thank God for our parents that were really thorough. Like, they weren't just Christians on Sundays. Like, they literally, every week, we had our own church service before we went to church. They were on their faces every single morning, on their knees, praying together. My dad even has bad back. He still goes on his knees. Coming back, my dad would come back from work. He worked a night shift at the airport and would take me to school in the morning. They would come back and pray before everything else. Like, that they showed us really what it looked like to be a follower of Christ.
Yes.
And that was before like the awakening and the opening of everything else that we would have now.
Yes.
So I think that our relationship now is truly a credit to what God does in your life when you surrender everything to Him.
Yes.
The wisdom that I have is not my wisdom. It's from God. The reason why we're even doing this channel is because like I felt like the Lord impressed on my heart, like it's time for us to be like truthful and transparent about the issues that are going on in this world and in our lives, because when we expose these things, that's where healing comes, and that's where we're able to fix everything that we're going through. Like I remember I had a conversation with my sister, and like literally she was like, you don't pick my calls. It was just like every conversation, you don't pick up the phone, and you don't blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm not like you.
I think I think I don't mean to cut you off, but there was one I think at the end of last year, I was going through this weird
the phone call
season before the phone call. Weird season, didn't feel any connection with God. Just everything was in disarray. Like nothing was going my way. And then I just had to reach out. I didn't want to tell my mom or my dad, so or even my husband. I haven't mentioned my husband. Hello, honey.
Hi, Chuck.
So I called her because at this time we were praying together and sharing a lot of spiritual truths together. So I'm like, oh, let me call her. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm like, what is going on? And then when I finally get through, this is what she tells me.
We're not the same.
We're not the same. And
yeah.
I was already down here. So when she said that, I went even further. I'm like, that's it. Forget it. I just gave up. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to work crying, coming back from work crying. I'm like, something wasn't right. But then I think there was one night going through the same emotional trauma or whatever again. And I just felt this prompting, call her again. And this time she picked up and she's like, oh, let's pray.
Literally, so let me tell you, so this is she gonna show you that how different we are. Yeah. So my sister literally spoke for 45 minutes about what was going on, what she was going through.
I just poured it out.
Like everything that's going on, she was like, and then this, 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 and this, and I was like, okay, all right, let's pray. And she was like, huh? And we prayed. Yeah. And on the phone, the Lord gave me a word for her and my nephew and my niece. And it was, I don't remember everything that it was.
I wrote it down.
And I remember telling you that. I was like, write everything that I said down. And
that was the first time, let me cut you off, I started journaling. Everything that God has said to me. I'm like, where have I been?
Yeah. And I remember just that. And I think moments like that, which is why we both said that it's God. Because moments like that is what has brought us closer together and has also helped me try more. Like, okay, I know emotionally I can't take being on the phone every single day with my sister, which is what she wants, but I can't give that to her. So I'll be able to do like once a week. I could do once a week. And she's getting there where she's like not as upset if I don't answer the phone. She's more understanding. And guess what, y'all? She'll text me. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jesus.
I don't like texting. I don't like email. I don't like that. I just want to hear someone's voice.
Yeah, she needs a
That's
connection.
all. But I'm learning.
But she's doing good. And I just want to say I love you.
Oh, people. I'm not gonna cry today, but yeah.
No, I do. I love you.
Yeah.
And everything, I'm grateful for your life. I'm grateful for everything that you imparted into me. Even when, I know Lord speaks to you and how he uses you. And I truly believe that what God is doing in your life now and in your family now is monumental for the next generations that will come in our family. Amen. So, don't stop resting.
Oh.
Don't stop resting.
I'm struggling, but I'm trying.
Don't stop resting. And I'm really appreciative of you.
Can I talk now?
Yes.
Okay.
I told y'all she was emotional.
Okay, Rubina, get it together. All right. I could not in a million years thought that you will be where you are today. Like
Neither.
Like I know that God's hand was on her life, but not in this capacity. I didn't see that coming, and that's why God is God and we're not. He sees way beyond, and so I thank God for you. I love you deeply. I don't know what I will do when that day comes when she leaves, but that's for another video. But yeah, I am so proud of you, so proud, beyond measure. Like I could brag on her every day, each day.
Let's not do that.
I brag on God, but this is my sister. I truly love you. I truly love you, by the grace of God. So you make me proud. You make us all proud. You make us all. She challenges all of us to pursue God, because the more you seek God, He will blow your mind. Amen. He will. So.
The video where we give you guys tips on how you can learn and listen well with your strangers and loved ones, and really for a conversation like this, since it's more intimate and it has to do with family, or if you're going to have this conversation with a friend that maybe you've been going through some stuff with, I would say that these tips are going to be a little bit different than it would be with strangers, but I think you can still apply it to a conversation with strangers as well. So the first one that we had is that we brought up experiences. A lot of times when you have a conversation like this, it can be easy to just say, I'm mad, or I was hurt that one time, blah, blah, but having like distinct experiences, like when I brought up about my sister's wedding, that time and planning it, and she didn't know that the extent of hurt that I felt or why I was hurt. You saw like her face was like, oh snap, I didn't even know that happened, right? So having experiences helps give the other person your experience, show them the other perspective of what they're seeing, and it allows them to come into your hurt, come into your pain, and also the experience that she had that empowered me, right? So it wasn't just about the bad stuff, but it was also about the good stuff and the good times that we've had. So that's a big tip. Don't be afraid to bring up experiences to pinpoint what exactly you were feeling and why you felt that way.
Okay. Be transparent, open and transparent. When my sister asked me to do this video, this is not my thing. I'm introvert. I like to be in the background and tell everybody else what to do, but to be in front of the camera, that's far from me. So I had to pray, okay, and ask God for strength and wisdom to be composed and speak to you guys. So be coming up with not having my guards up, and also, you know, I like having open ears to listen to what she has to say, and vice versa. Really help to create this beautiful communication, and also to learn, and to heal together. So I think that was good.
Yeah, and then last but not least, be willing to have the conversation. I said it earlier, but people are not discardable. And I know right now cancel culture is huge because of the different things going on in our world. But at the end of the day, like, people are still people. And when you have a conversation like this and you're transparent and you talk about your experiences and you allow someone to share what they're going through with you, I think a lot of times we'll see that we're actually not just more similar, because like I feel like everybody says that, but you'll actually be able to empathize and sympathize with them more, because it's a feeling that you've experienced too. And that's what brings us closest together. It's not just always the good stuff and, oh, what this person did for you, but a lot of times it's that they were actually there with you when you were going through these things, or that they were able to share and be transparent with you. So last but not least, be willing. Just be willing to have a conversation. I say it all the time. Intentional conversations only happen once you start them. Thanks guys. See you in the next one.